Okay, these next three problems are over starting with an equation of a line and then using that equation to come up with the graph. Just remember the number in front of the x represents the slope. The number at the end represents the y-intercept. Okay, so the way I'm going to have you do this is to figure out what the y-intercept is and start by putting that point on the y-axis, because that's what y-intercept means. It's where the line crosses the y-axis. Then change your slope, which is in front of your x, change your slope to a fraction, if it isn't already, and use that slope to travel to more points. Okay, so let's just go through problem 4. Okay, first we're going to start with the y-intercept, which is the number at the very end of the equation without an x on it. Okay, it's -2. Okay, the slope is the number in front of the x. It's a -3. But I want you to get in the habit of writing that slope as a fraction. So to change -3 to a fraction, okay, anytime you change an integer to a fraction, just divide it by 1. Okay, so the slope is -3 over 1. Okay, now it's time to graph it. Okay, the y-intercept is -2. Just look at the y-axis, find -2 on that y-axis, and drag a dot there. See, my graph starts at -2 on the y-axis. Okay, now use your slope to travel. Okay, my slope is -3 over 1. And by the way, that negative means we're going down 3 over 1. Okay, to get from one point to another point on my line, I'm going to go down 3 over 1. So drag another point, go down 3 spaces over 1, place a dot. And you can keep going if you want. I could take another point and go down 3 over 1. Okay, all you really need is 2 points to have a line. Okay, but as long as we have 2 points, take your line. This is kind of tricky. Don't worry about getting this perfect. Try to drag it so it's going over the points. But again, don't worry about if you can't make this work just right, because I have trouble with this too. But the line will go through these 3 points. Okay, see, I have trouble there. Just do the best you can. But it starts at -2 on the y-axis, and then to get from one point to another, you go down 3 over 1. Okay, let's look at number 5. Okay, look at the y-intercept and slope first. The y-intercept is a number at the end. It's a 4. The slope as a fraction is -1 over 2, and that already is a fraction. And now we just use these two things to graph. Okay, the y-intercept is 4, so find 4 on this y-axis, right there. Okay, the slope is -1 over 2. Negative means down. So I'm going to go down 1 over 2, okay, starting with that 4 on the y-axis. So just drag another point and go down 1, space, over 2. Put another dot. And you could keep doing this. If you really, really wanted to, you could go down 1 over 2 again and down 1 over 2 again. But really, all you need is 2 points. Okay, and as best you can, show the line going through the points you just graphed. When you do this on Khan Academy and Delta Math, you don't have to mess with taking a line and dragging it all around like this. Okay, but it would be a line that goes through those points right there. Okay, the last one, got to use your thinking cap a little bit, because there is no number in front of x, and there is no number at the end. Okay, all we have is y equals x. So with our, just think about this for a minute. There really is a number in front of x. Okay, whenever you have a variable and there's no number in front of it, it's understood to be a 1. Okay, so that really is an understood 1. And you don't have an add sign. And you don't have a number after. at the end, that add sign. But just think about what could you add to something without changing its value. Okay, you don't want to add 1 to something. Okay, 4 plus 1 changes to 5, okay, for example. So you don't want to add 1, but what could you add to a number and not change it? Okay, it'd be 0. Okay, so think of this as y equals 1x plus 0. The number on the end is the y-intercept. So that's 0. The slope is 1 as a fraction, 1 over 1. Okay, since that slope is positive, it's up 1 over 1 instead of down 1 over 1. Okay, so to graph it, find 0 on the y-axis. Okay, y-axis, there's 0. And from 0 on the y-axis, take another point and travel up 1, right 1. Put your second point. Okay, take your line, try to drag it over as best you can. Okay, just a quick review for you guys on quarantine. I hope this helped. Let me know if you're having more problems, and I'll help you.